Hey there, my fellow language learners. Welcome back to the channel. How's your language learning going? I hope it's proceeding smoothly and efficiently. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what language you're learning and why, and if there's anything I could possibly do to help you out, let me know. My target language is Mandarin and I live in China, and I share a lot on this channel about my language learning journey. I want to keep you inspired. I want to help you stay motivated and keep you accountable to your language learning goals. In today's video, I want to talk about the topic of creative production and creative speaking when it comes to language learning. How important do you think that is? And do you think it's important in the earlier stages of language learning? I could see arguments for either side, but I kind of lean to the side of saying it's important to practice creatively using your target language even in the early stages, because I think it's easy to fall into a trap where you're studying the target language, too academically for too long. We're working from textbooks. We're joining classes and courses. And I'm not knocking those things. Those things are important and they have their place. But when we try to memorize and copy, imitate, regurgitate, repeat those sentences which have been, sort of pre-planned, pre-programmed, pre-packaged, when we try to take those out onto the battlefield of real life, we experience various degrees of success. We encounter different life situations with different people and we try to shoehorn those phrases in. We're searching our memory banks for something that will fit. Now, if we had a better ability to creatively rearrange different things that we know, we could be more effective when we speak in those situations. Now, obviously, that's sort of a higher order thinking task. It's not easy to do, but I think it does get easier with practice. And if we do it more early and, if we incorporate some creative production activities or tasks earlier on in our language learning journeys, then that's going to make it all the more easier for us over time to creatively produce when we need to. So what are some of the things that you could do to inject a little creativity into your language learning process? I think this is a great idea to do because it's also going to make what you're doing more fun. It's going to help you stay more motivated. I mean, for me personally, one thing that I really disliked about language learning when I was younger was the fact that I had to learn all this stuff from books or classes that I didn't even really care about or want to talk about. I felt like I couldn't express myself creatively, but I just had to learn what people were telling me to learn, and I was sounding like everybody around me, repeating the same phrases like a parrot. So later in my life, when I actually came to China and I had more ideas about these kinds of issues and I wanted to learn in my own ways, I would do some pretty creative things. Like, for example, I like to play music and play guitar, so I would try to write some lyrics in Mandarin and then show them to a tutor and have them give me some suggestions about it. That was a really fun practice for a while, as you can imagine. Something else that I have done is I've designed language learning card games. I show you that a lot on this channel. I'm someone who likes to socialize and game with people around a table. So what I decided to do was merge my two interests there. I had the goal of language learning on the one hand. I also enjoyed and understood and appreciated the value of games, so I wanted to put those two together. I started off designing a game specifically to help me with my Mandarin learning. It was called Chinese Champions, but I have since developed what I'm doing and created games that I hope will work for anybody, regardless of their target language. But that kept me inspired, that kept me motivated, that kept me thinking creatively and producing creatively, because I had to socialize with people about the topics that were popping up during the game. Another form of creativity, creative production with language learning that I've tried, and let me know what works for you in the comments section. But for me, another thing I've tried is to do a little bit of creative writing in my target language. Some people like to do like a daily journal. It doesn't have to be that long, but maybe a few sentences in a daily journal in the target language. I have done short scripts about things that I want to talk about or points that I want to try to make for my social media, for my YouTube channel. If you like to use social media, this could be a place where you regularly share some ideas to help other people or whatever, or maybe even sort of daily journal on social media. But when you creatively write and post that writing, or creatively speak on camera and share that video, that's a great form of, helping other people stay motivated, showing other people how regular you can be with your practice. I mean, you're helping yourselves and other people stay motivated and inspired, and you're creating an artifact. You're taking an action of some kind. You are putting your language learning skills to the test through these actions. That is also something that I advise. Don't just talk about language learning for hours and hours on end. Work towards producing something that could be shared. I think it's cool to produce those things regularly, because when you look back, that's going to help you to stay motivated to continue on. Imagine if you have kept a regular journal in your target language for even half a year, or you have written some of your own song lyrics or poetry or short stories. I mean, to some people, this may seem impossible when they're just beginners with the target language. But why do you think that way? That is a limiting belief that you have. I'm not saying you have to try to creatively produce all the time. That would be counterproductive, I think, because you have to learn, to some extent, you have to learn what's in those textbooks or courses. You have to build that foundation. That's very effective for building your practical foundation. But what I'm suggesting is add little exercises. It could be once a week or twice a week or whatever. But those little brain exercises that get you creating with language learning and rearranging the parts and expressing your individuality and your uniqueness. I think to do that is really going to pay off for you in the short term and the long term. Hope you enjoyed this video today. Do leave me a comment down below. Let's connect. Let's make this language learning channel and my social media more than just a one-way street. Let's make it a two-way street. As you guys know, I'm trying to put humans at the center of my language learning practice this year. I'm trying to keep technology in its place and be intentional about how I use technology, and I hope to share my journey and my ideas with you throughout this year and beyond. All right, I'll see you back here in the next one. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye-bye for now.